Hey, good evening. Thank you for joining me on this live stream tonight. My name is Greg Nelson. Hey, I think it's a really important titled this live stream. Attention. If you're in business or if you're in sales, this is definitely a skill you're going to need to learn how to master moving forward in the year 2023. Who am I? My name is Greg Nelson. I own a sales training, sales coaching counseling company here in the Pacific Northwest called The Hard Knock State. I'm a sales professional and have been for over 20 years. I've been in business for over 30 years, owned a couple different businesses, and climbed the ladder in two completely different industries. It was it was about 6, 7 years ago when I uh, made the leap into sales management, got promoted into sales management, where I coached and trained sales associates of all different skill levels on how they could sell more, sell effectively, and earn more on each sale. In addition to coaching and training the sales associates for the organization, I was also probably at least what my manager had said was the best in the store on the phones. So I would not only would coach and train the sales associates on the sales process, but also on how to do a proper and effective phone follow up, how to take the inbound sales call and how to lock that appointment in for a higher show rate. And then ultimately, where we could do our demonstration presentation and put the proposal in front of the customer in order for them to make the decision. And a lot of the if a good organization is they're going to have really strong ethical pillars behind what they do. And I was lucky enough, I've only worked for dealerships that did have ethics. And I'm happy to say I'm probably one of there's I know there's many out there, and there's most for the most part the automotive industry, because that was the profession I was in, was automotive sales. So for the most part, it is a good, ethical, honest business. There are, just like anything, there are a few bad apples in the bushel that make it a bad name for us. Um, but you could say that about any industry that you're working in. But regardless of the industry that you're working in, regardless of the product or the service that you sell, I don't care whether you sell automobiles, RVs, power sports, marines, as far as boats go. And, it doesn't matter whether you sell real estate, insurance. It doesn't matter. The whole process and the basics of selling are all the same. And getting on the phone and being able to properly communicate with people over the phone is probably the most important skill that you're going to need to learn moving forward. Many of us are extremely well face to face through a walk in customer when a customer walks into the store, but so few of us are able to effectively follow up with that customer if they don't buy from us that same day. And in addition, if they do buy it from us that same day, how to properly follow up for the second sale, how to properly follow up for repeat and referral business, and how to properly develop a long-term relationship for many years to come, because that's exactly what we want to do in sales or in business. I don't care if you're running a convenience store in a strip mall somewhere. You're going to need to learn how to sell. You need to and learn how to repeat that process over and over and over again in order to be successful. And when gasoline is the price that it is and the price that it has been all year long, and even for a little bit before that, people aren't just walking into places of business anymore unless they're going to a certain area to buy something else. The studies have shown that consumers nowadays, when they're buying goods and services, and hey, it may not be uh, your regular groceries or your regular day-to-day items I'm referring to here, but I'm referring to, items such as, furniture, such as hot tubs, spas, stoves, kitchen, home improvement, insurance, real estate, you name it, more of the higher ticket items. Most people are doing 40 hours of research on that one item before they even decide which store to go in and visit. In the automotive industry, when I left the automotive industry, when I left the dealership last year, the statistic was a consumer would do 72 hours of research on one vehicle before even engaging with the dealership to take the next step to see if it is going to drive the way they expect it to, handle the way they expect it to, and feel the way they expect it to. So with that, being in sales for 20 years, I remember this one day in particular, and I tell the story. 10 years ago, I was already in sales for a decade, right? So, but I was walking into a sales meeting for the weekend, and I was looking at my paycheck, and I sat down in my chair, and my face turned bright red, and I slumped down. I was trying to hide. I was horrified. I was thinking of my two kids and how I was going to keep the lights on. Um, and then I heard it. Hey, Greg, I was being called out by the sales manager to tell the entire organization how many units I had out for the month, or more like didn't have. And so I was embarrassed. I was demotivated, and my performance for the rest of the weekend was shot. Um, what I haven't mentioned before about this, and is that during this time, I was a complete drunk, and I was completely addicted to alcohol, which were caused by years of me trying to numb up and drink away any problems that I had, and not being able to provide the kind of lifestyle that I knew my kids and my wife deserved. But it wasn't until I got sober that I realized what a loser I was, but two, um, the kind of damage that I had caused. But I gotta tell you, once I got sober and once I started tuning into the right information and tuning into the right people and studying for people who are at places I wanted to go, did my life change. If it weren't for the teachings by Grant Cardone, forging the way and having foresight to document and record all his business, his marketing, his sales strategies, of what he's done to make him a billionaire successful, and create paths and blueprints and package them up to give other people the choices to achieve the same kind of success that he's had. Grant's material gave me something to focus on and allowed me to keep my mind on starting to create the life that I needed in order to thrive. Uh, I know without a shadow of a doubt that I would not have been able to pull through everything I went through during this period of time if it weren't for Grant and his teachings and all the content that he throws out there. It's completely amazing, and uh, going through all that, if you've ever been through a divorce and if you ever been through treatment and had troubles with the law because of drinking, I got to tell you, how expensive it is. So, thankfully for Grant and the free material that he put out there, I was able to lock in. I was able to learn enough because I was able to get in it every single day. And then my sales started to increase. Okay. And then once they started to increase, took that extra money that I had and I reinvested in myself. And so when I did that, I started going into grants like webinars, and then I got signed up with Cardone University. And before I knew it, my sales started to go through the roof. And it was the end of the year of, gosh, I believe it was 2015, I remember my manager tapping me on the back, congratulating me on a job well done for the year, and that I was one of the top producers in the store out of about 50 different sales associates. So that for me was the first type of real success that I've ever felt. But it was even more amazing than that is because I kept studying Grant's material, and I was able to use it to negotiate in all areas of my life, not just in business at the dealership I worked at, but I was also able to negotiate with lawyers. I was able to negotiate with the courts and the treatment facility and all that. It all came to place and it all fell into line the way I needed it to, because I was able to communicate effectively with these people. And so, if you're not in sales, if you don't own or you don't manage a business, let's say you're a stay-at-home mom, you're a stay-at-home dad, and you need to get through the trials and tribulations of life, then being able to communicate effectively is the most important thing you can work on and improve on and master every single day. And one of the areas where we can communicate effectively is by the phone. And other strategies other than just being in face to face with somebody. And like I said, in today's world, yeah, the roads are still busy. There's still massive traffic on the road, but for the most part, people, when they're not going to and from work or to and from appointments, they're not just driving around aimlessly, driving from store to store to store to window shop to see what business owner is offering what goods and service. And so, because of that, they do the 40 hours of research online before they even engage with you, and maybe even longer. So, if you don't know who Cardone is, you either haven't been in sales or business, and you're just now starting to want to learn about this. Maybe you're making a career change and you're trying to jump from an industry that you're in, or to get into the sales industry where your earning income could be potential could be unlimited. But if that's not the case and you're in business or sales and you haven't heard of Grant Cardone, simply you haven't been paying attention. Let me tell you a little bit about who Grant is here. And um, I got to tell you, I really thankful for everything that he's done and the information that he's put out there. Not trying to sound sappy or anything, but serious, and being today that now I'm a Grant Cardone licensee and I'm certified, went through all the certifications in order to be able to teach, train, and coach other individuals on this material, is just completely amazing. So Grant is an internationally renowned speaker on leadership, real estate, uh, investing, entrepreneurship, social media, and finance. He's number one on Forbes' list of the 25 marketing influencers to watch, and author of several best-selling books on entrepreneurship, real estate investing, and marketing and sales. He uh, owns 16 privately held companies, and I know I've been saying in revenues well in the hundreds of millions of dollars, but realistically, it's in the billions of dollars. So um, on February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, I am putting on or hosting my phone mastery workshop. This workshop is using Grant's phone mastery material, and it's gonna be an interactive, live, virtual workshop. It's gonna be a half day, probably about 4 or 5 hours. There's What you're going to get with this is you're going to get a digital download of Grant's 10x sales professional phone mastery course workbook, so you could follow along through the workshop and put your notes in there, and then you'll be able to study that at home for as long as you need. And then with that also, I was I was just pricing this at 1995, and I've been running this for about a week now, week and a half now at 1995. But I really wanted to make sure that everybody saw some really good value here, because the information alone, I could really charge 1995, like $1,995 for this information, this phone mastery workshop alone. But for 1995, what I wanted to do, because I want everybody, my mission, just since I became sober, and since moving forward, and going through everything that I've went through, and really taking an understanding that there is no better opportunity we have in the United States than free enterprise. And there's no better opportunity that we have where our earning income is unlimited, other than through sales. And so you don't even have to, in many cases, you don't have to have a special degree. You don't have to have any special schooling in order to get into a really good sales position, and be able to make as much money that you can. Whatever your earning potential, whatever your potential is, through the proper training and coaching and self-development and personal and professional development, you could hit levels you never thought was possible. And I know this from experience. So on February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, go to thehardknockstate.com. That is thehardknockstate.com, just as you're seeing there in the underneath my description in the video. If you're watching this on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, you're getting a slightly different view if you're watching this, and a slightly different sound if you're watching this on Instagram. Unfortunately, I'm maxing out my cameras here in order to stream this across these 4 platforms. I did throw in the chat for Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I did throw in the chat the link for the phone mastery half-day workshop for 1995. Now, I got to tell you, I'm not sure if you have been going through Grant's Unbreakable challenge over the past week. It has been absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, just all the knowledge, and not just from Grant and his team, not just from Grant and Jared and Elena and Brandon Dawson, but also from TD Jakes and Pete Vargas. Oh my God, the host. Pete Vargas hosted the Unbreakable Challenge, and it was he couldn't have done a better job. The whole thing was top notch. And then a couple days ago, TD Jakes, Bishop TD Jakes, came out and talked about communication, and being able to get your voice heard to get what you need accomplished in your life, and not to hold back, and not to shy back from not getting your voice heard. And then also today was Robert Herjavec from Shark Tank. Just absolutely amazing. But one thing I really realized when I was going through this, and I signed up for this the Unbreakable Challenge package, primarily just due to the coaching that we get from that. And if you haven't, if you were a part of that Unbreakable Challenge, I got to tell you, they are pulling back some of what their offerings were at midnight tonight. So go to Grant Cardone /systems, grantcardone.com/systems, and then you'd be able to take advantage of that package as well. But again, on February 11th, February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time is my phone mastery half-day workshop for 1995. Now, what I learned going through the Unbreakable Challenge is the value. I learned so much about the value that is really needed in order to help as many people as you can. So what I wanted to do is increase my offer on my phone mastery workshop. So not only are you going to get all the information the know-how, how to close, how to negotiate, how to set appointments, covering scripts on how to follow up with unsold and sold customers, scripts on how to what to say to the customer during the inbound sales call. But I'm also going to include 30 days of my group sales coaching. That's my Rocket Revenue group sales coaching. And with that, each week we go over a different topic of one of 9 of Grant's 10x sales professional courses. And each week you do also get a follow along and study at home 10x sales professional course digital download workbook. So for $19.95, you get the half day phone mastery workshop, and then you also get 30 days of group sales coaching. That's 4 sessions, plus the workbooks that go along with the courses. And I just got a shipment in, and so of these my closing pens, these are not even available on my website yet, but a 2-pack of these closing pens, they're just absolutely great. I'm going to try to hold this up here, see if you guys can see that. But they are metal, they're quality, they're a fine tipped ballpoint pen, really elegant and classy looking. They got really solid weight to them. The tip of it is a fine tipped ballpoint pen, and they just write very smoothly. And so a 2-pack of these pens will be available for sale on my website for $19.95 alone. But in addition, so I call these my classy contract closing pens. And so you're going to get a 2-pack of my classy contract closing pens, plus 4 group sales coaching sessions and a half day phone mastery workshop, all for $19.95. And so again, go to thehardknockstate.com. That's thehardknockstate.com. Unfortunately, I don't have the capability to add that into a Twitter live chat. But if you're on Facebook, Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, just go to the comment section and click on the link there, and we take all major credit cards. We will email you. Within 24 hours, once you sign up for the half-day workshop, the class, we will email you the link to get into the class. And also keep an eye on your email, because a day or two before the class, we'll email out the digital downloadable workbook. And so look, the phone and being able to get it is going to set you apart from your competition. If everybody, look, most organizations that I've worked at, most dealerships that I've worked at, sales organizations, and even when I was in the grocery and produce business, the phone was so important. The produce sales people I bought from a few different few different produce warehouses, few different docks, and then I also had relationships with local farmers for a lot of my goods as well. But I got to tell you, the ones those businesses, the ones that were completely different, where their salespeople were top notch, and they were if they were not in front of a customer demonstrating their goods, right? Whether they're food products, closing those sales, they were on the phone and they were making phone calls. And so again, it does not matter what industry you're in, you need to get good on the phone, and you need to learn how to master incoming calls to the store, follow up with unsold, sold customers, follow up with orphan customers, follow up with service customers. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that right now. And so this is kind of a prelude, if you will, to the half day phone mastery workshop. Now, there's going to be a different view during that half day phone mastery workshop. It's going to be over Zoom. You're going to see slides. You're going to see the TV playing, slides also on the background. And then you're going to follow along. I'm going to have a podium set up and you're going to follow along. With the workbook, and then we're going to have exercises and breaks, and it's going to be a lot of information. So I would just say come prepared on February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Come prepared. Not only have your workbook, but these pens will also be mailed out to you. And if you sign up early enough before the class, you'll have a couple really good quality pens to take a lot of good notes with. But the telephone, let's talk about uh, let's talk about the power of the telephone a little bit. Over the past 50 years, phones have changed and they're going to keep changing. What hasn't changed is the person on the other end of the line. And the reality is, if you don't learn how to use this device like consistently and effectively and depend on it, you'll never become uh, become a millionaire. If that's your goal, is to become a millionaire. Maybe it's just to get stop living paycheck to paycheck, and to where you can be able to get some breathing room. I know we hear millionaire a lot of times. It's not a ton of money anymore, but it's still a large enough money to where there's a lot of people out there that still can't fathom the fact that what $1 million could do, right? But the telephone is the single most effective way to communicate with a customer or with a prospective client without being directly in front of them. It is the best way to increase the number of people that you can get in front of to sell yourself and to sell your products and to sell your dreams and to sell your ideas. And now that is powerful right there. And that is the value of the phone. Now, you create the impression of yourself prior to meeting the buyer. It's very easy for you to make a strong impression on the telephone over the cell phone, and we'll talk about that later. But to selling appointments greatly increases your closing ratio. In fact, you can get 3 or 4 times greater closing ratios with an appointment than somebody just walking in the door. It's one of the most effective ways to communicate with the masses amounts of people. It's essential to handle incoming calls, calling back customers, unclosed customers, people who bought from you already, or creating new customers. Your competition is generally very, very weak on the phone. And some of your competition doesn't even believe in working the phone. You have competitors in your market who say they can't sell anything over the phone, and we want to take advantage of that. And so it gives you a critical edge in the marketplace. And truthfully, buyers like shopping on the phone. They like to call people to check out the organization, check out the people that are working there, see if you have the product or service that they're looking for. It saves them time and it gives them a distance between the seller and between the product and themselves. They probably may not have confidence in themselves that if they're right in front of it, they're going to buy it immediately, and they may have a game plan to research the product a little bit more, but they call to provide that distance, because really what they're trying to do is they're trying to protect themselves from making a bad financial decision. It's the telephone is the cell phone. It's a more effective use of time. You can get more done on the phone than most people can get done with a team of people literally in 1 hour. You can outproduce 10 people who do personal walk-in visits without picking up the cell phone, or the other associates. If, like, say you're in a showroom type setting, if you're just standing around waiting for the customers to come in, you can get 10 times more done, on 100 times more done on the telephone than you can just waiting for somebody to walk through the door. But to build your business and how you can make as much money as you want is by getting good on the phone and by mastering the phone. So let's talk about the types of calls, okay? Because not all calls are the same. Most salespeople never get good at any of them, much less all of them. The masters of sales and the master entrepreneurs get good at all of them. So let's go over them. Okay, number one is handling the incoming call. This are inquiries from the public about your product or service, pricing, terms, contracts, or what you do. The goal in this call is to give enough information to have the client come to you or to create an opportunity where you can go to them. Uh, Number two is calling back showroom traffic. This was my forte. These are people who have shopped your store. What they've seen your pricing proposals. This is what's calling back the unclosed. Number three is creating new customers through a use of lists, leads, interests, or referrals. This could be a cold call, it could be a warm call, it could be a really, really hot call. Number four is follow up of sold customers. This is the outbound call where we pick up the phone and we call a customer who has bought from us and start replacing them and creating new business as a result of the phone call. So those are the four types of calls that in this section that we're focusing on. Right now, we're going to start focusing on the incoming call. In later sections, we'll talk about prospecting and cold calling. So, the rules of the phone, and yes, there are rules on the phone. Anyone who has ever worked with Grant or has seen him on the phone has seen him use these rules, and I'm going to teach them to you. If you play by these rules, you'll have success on the phone and more success than you in your business. So, rule number one: always make a call with a purpose, and pay full attention to this call. Never ever call without a true purpose. Most salespeople call just to make the call, just to satisfy the needs of their management, just to satisfy the needs of the company policy or satisfy the needs of the CRM. Never make a call without a full purpose and completely and pay complete attention to that phone call. Okay. You always Rule number two is you always want to have multiple reasons for the phone call. If that initial purpose, that first rule number one, if that first initial purpose doesn't really satisfy the needs of the conversation, satisfy the needs of the customer, you need to have different places to go to keep an interest while the caller is on the line. Rule number three: when you sit down to make calls, never just make one phone call. Okay. This is a major mistake. People sit down, they make one phone call, and then they go get a cup of coffee. They go see what's going on in the showroom. They go walk around the displays. They go check out the parking lot to see who's maybe pulling in. Uh, so you always want to sit down and try to block out 40 minutes and see how many calls you can make within that 40-minute time period without ever putting the phone back down on the receiver if you're using the store line, or without actually setting your cell phone down. And always, rule number four: I can't even believe I got to talk about this. I can't even believe this should be number one in my case, but always, always, always leave a message. 98% of all salespeople break that rule. And I'll show you how to leave a message on February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time during my phone sales mastery workshop. Again, that's $19.95. Not only are you going to get the half-day workshop, a course, follow along course, 10x sales professional course workbook to where you can study that at home as well. But you're going to get 30 days of my group sales coaching, my Rocket Revenue group sales coaching. That's 4 coaching sessions. And you're going to get a two-pack of my classy contract closing pens. And these are nice pens too. I looked at hundreds of pens before I picked these out. I picked them out because of the weight of them. I picked them out because of the color. It's the silver and the gunmetal gray. I picked it out because it clicks like this versus you having to turn it or take a cap off. And I picked it out because the it's a ballpoint pen, but it's got a fine tip on the end. And then it also has the stylus. If you sell off of a tablet, or if you sell off of your cell phone or the touch screen. But always, always, always leave a message. And 98% of all salespeople, as I mentioned, break that rule. Always talk to multiple people if you can't get a hold of that one person, right? Or maybe you do get a hold of them and they just say, hey, I'm not the person who makes the decision on whatever product or service you're selling. So never call one person. So when you call an organization and it's a fairly good size organization, you're selling business to business. I'm going to give you two different examples here: business to business and business to consumer. So hey, John's not right in. You calling, right? And the receptionist says, hey, John's not in right now. You say, hey, no problem. Can I leave a message for John? And then they'll send you to John's voicemail. You leave the message for John, then you hit 0 to go back to the receptionist and ask to speak to somebody, the person who's right below John. And then once you do that, if you can't get a hold of that person, you leave a message for that person, hit 0, go right back to the receptionist and ask who's below that person. If you do that, you've made 3 or 4 calls and left 3 or 4 messages for 3 or 4 decision makers or influencers. And they'll all get that same type of message. Now you've made 3 or 4 calls by dialing the phone once. And so that is an efficient use of time and an effective use for time on the phone. And if you're watching this right now, if you're on Facebook, if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on YouTube or Instagram, and you're watching this right now and you're in sales, I would highly suggest you pick up a pen and a piece of paper and take notes on what I'm telling you right now, because you can use this information immediately. You can take this if you're off on Sunday and you go back into the office on Monday. You can take this information and start putting it to good use right when you get back. The same goes for if you're in retail sales. And you're probably working Sundays. It's the weekend. We always had to work when other people, office people, are off, right? So if that's you, you can use this information tomorrow morning when you get into work and you start calling back your unsold leads or your unsold showroom traffic. So always talk to multiple people. Okay. Number 6 is always try another way to get a hold of that person. Always try another way to get a hold of that person. If somebody's not in, figure out another way to contact them through an email, through text messaging, maybe a second phone number. Maybe they gave you their business card and they have 2 or 3 phone numbers on there. Maybe you could even look them up on social media and try to get a hold of them that way. But always try to find another way to get a hold of that person. You want to be extremely aggressive on the phone when you're trying to get in contact with the person you need to speak to. Okay. And so what I mean by that is we don't want to get aggressive and angry and, that type of attitude, macho, ism and all that. But what we want to do is we want to get aggressive in our actions. We want to take massive actions in different avenues, trying to get a hold of the person we need to talk to in order to solve their problems, in order to make sure that we have a product or service that's going to fulfill their needs, right? Rule number 7, always go for a cell phone number. You want cell phone numbers, not landlines. Okay. Why? Because you can text and you can send video through a cell phone number. Not only that, is in today's world, most people, cell phones, there's more cell phones, I think, on the planet than there is human beings. But nobody uses landlines anymore, and if they do use landlines, that is a screening line where they're going to try to block out solicitation or information that they don't think they need to hear or want to hear. Robocalls, they go to the fair, they're signing up for all these free events. They can screen those calls typically, and usually they're not calling back unless if it's extremely important. And that's a I think in today in 2023, I think that's very few people do have landlines, but some people will try to give that number to you. So the best way around that is just asking for what their cell number is. Instead of asking just, hey, what's your phone number, and risking the chance of them giving you a landline, ask them, hey, what's your cell number? And then they're just going to give you their cell number more often than not. Uh, Many people get rid of their home phones, right? And they're replacing them with cell phones. So just don't be afraid to ask them for their cell phone number. Number 8 is always collect an email address. Okay. Again, a piece of technology that can change our results, right? Always collect an email address during your communication. So here's a good way you can ask for an email address. Hey, in addition to, hey, if, you get their phone number, and then you say, hey, in addition to that, hey, I'd like to send you some important information. What's a good email address I could send it off to? And then they just give it to you. And so, but then you gotta actually send them some information, and sending them third party data information through an email based off of maybe a recap of your conversation, a recap of the product that they're looking at, along with third party data, is very, very deadly. Um, always, rule number 9, always follow up a call with another type of communication. Don't ever make a phone call without another mode of communication to follow up with. Okay. So if I make a phone call, I probably want to send a text message. And sometimes if you call using a headset, or you call using your speakerphone, you can do this at the same time. So as you're making the phone call, you can send off a text message. And if you can't do that, send a text message immediately after you make the phone call, or send an email out to them if you already have their email address. Um, so again, you may want to follow up with not just the text message, but also an email. And rule number 10, you want to approach every call with a great attitude. Uh, this is really the first step in the perfect sales process, is having a great attitude. And we got to get the live stream yesterday. If you tuned into it, it was about getting your head right about sales. Okay. But your attitude is everything. And when you're on the phone, if you're in a bad mood, or you've got the poopy pants attitude, you're got the pouty face going on, people can hear that in the tone of your voice. And I always put a smile sign in front of my computer, hanging on my computer frame. So when I'm on the phone, it's just a good reminder to turn the corners of my mouth up, which will change the tone of my voice. And it automatically, and you do that, you hold the corners of your mouth up, it also releases endorphins. And then by doing that and smiling, it puts you into a good mood. And it's crazy how that works, but it's absolutely true. So start smiling even before you pick up the phone, and approach every call with a great attitude. Excuse me. take a take the call with intention, right? And assume a successful outcome. Tell yourself, I'm going to get something out of this call, whether it's a great impression or get an appointment, or able to close the deal. Rule Now, I want to talk a little bit about. So those are the 10 rules, Grant's 10 rules of the phone. But I want to talk a little bit about myths of the phone, okay? Because there's a lot of misconceptions and myths about the phone, a lot of false data and false information out there. And so Grant had left me these 10 notes on his myths of the phone. Okay. Number one, the phone is a complete waste of time. And that is an absolutely myth. That's an absolute misconception and a myth. Some people believe they can't sell anything over the phone, and and this is a myth that will prove to you on February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Go to thehardknockstate.com and get your tickets. Seating is limited for that event also, and I just want to let that know. I know it's a virtual event, and I know you may have gone to some of these webinars in the past where there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people watching, just kind of like Grant's Unbreakable Challenge. But for my workshop, for this workshop, uh, it's capped at a couple hundred people. Okay, so with that, I want to keep it tight enough to where everybody will get the quality understanding of information that's being provided, and it will also make the workshop portion of it where we do the exercises. It will make that go so much more smoothly, and so 1995 again. You're going to get the half day phone mastery workshop. You're going to leave this workshop being just what the title says, being a master of the phone. You're gonna get all this information that you can refer back and use it whenever you need to. But you're gonna learn so much information, it's gonna change your game the next day or after that workshop. It's gonna completely level up your game. In addition, for the 1995 and all that information you're going to get, I'm throwing in 4 weeks of my group sales coaching, my Rocket Revenue group sales coaching. And so we go over a different topic each week, and each week we cover one of Grant's 10x sales professional courses. With that, you also get the digital download, follow along, and study at home course workbooks. And then not even available on my website yet, but when I do put these up, a 2-pack of my classy contract closing pens. And so they're gunmetal gray. They're made out of a metal. They got a nice weight to them. So when your customer signs their name, they know they're signing with a quality pen. Fine tip ballpoint pen, no cap, no twist. It's got the clicker, the plunger, and then the tip of it is a stylus. So if your sales organization sells off of an iPad or a touch screen. And so these alone are $19.95. My 30 days of group coaching, the group coaching sessions, those 4 sessions, check it out on thehardknockstate.com. It's $395, and I'm really giving you the coaching absolutely for free. I'm giving you the 2 pens, the classy contract closing pens for free, and you're just taking advantage of all the information. There's without the free coaching, without the free closing pens, this information, I could do a complete half day workshop in person and sell tickets for $19.95. And so that's how that's the value of this information that you're getting. And I mean, when I say $19.95, I mean $1,995.95. But you're getting all this information, and we're going to do this virtually over Zoom for $19.95. So let's recap on what that is again. That is the half-day phone mastery workshop where you're going to learn how to properly communicate effectively over the phone. We're going to go through more of this information that we're talking about today. You're going to learn closing strategies on how to close and set more appointments, how to schedule more appointments. You're going to learn follow-up. You're going to learn how to handle the incoming phone call. You're going to learn how to handle calling back showroom traffic. You're going to learn how to handle calling back sold customers, orphan customers, and being able. And the most important thing, in my opinion, is your active customer base. That right there, that is an overlooked area, in my opinion, from many organizations. They've sold a product or a service to an individual, and they don't ever call that customer back to make sure they can continue to be of a service and build a relationship. And when you do that, you take an absolute care to helping people. It's that alone is going to change the outcome and change your monthly paycheck. Um, so here's some more myths about the telephone. If the buyer was serious, he or she would come in and see me. Well, in today's world, as we've discussed, if you're following along, if you're just tuning in, my name again is Greg Nelson. I'm a sales coach, sales trainer. I'm a Grant Cardone licensee, a certified Grant Cardone licensee, who's certified to deliver grants, sales and business training and marketing curriculum and sales coaching. I've been a sales professional for 20 years. And over the past 6 or 7 years, I've been a sales management training and coaching sales associates of all different skill levels on how they could sell more, sell consistently, and earn more on each sale. And using grants material is what made me successful in my sales career, and what is continually letting me level up in the sales industry and in my career. Because just because I don't work for a dealership anymore doesn't mean I'm not in the sales industry anymore. I'm still an active working sales professional, and I know what it takes to hit the numbers that you need to hit to create a different lifestyle for you and your family, because I've done it. And so we're going over right now information that you're also going to learn. However, we're going to go in more in depth, and you're going to get a digital follow along workbook. It's February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Just go to thehardknockstate.com and get your tickets. But we're going over the myths of the phone right now. And number 3 is I'll miss opportunities using the phone. If I sit on the phone, I'm going to miss other opportunities. That is so wrong. You can create more opportunities in 40 minutes. Like we had mentioned earlier, blocking out 30 or 40 minutes and trying to make as many calls as you can. If you did that and blocked out that 40 minutes, you can create so many more opportunities than you could just waiting for hours to drum up business in other ways, whether it's just standing waiting for the customer to come in, or driving to somebody else to make personal visits. And here's another myth or misconception. I'm scared of the phone. Okay. People think the phone is going to hurt them. That is not true. It is just a myth. Okay. It is impossible to get hurt on the phone. Okay. And it's impossible to be scared of the phone. It is impossible. The What you're scared of is rejection. And so we think we're scared of the phone, but really what it is we're scared of a rejection. And so when we get those butterflies in our stomach, we get that feeling, that awkward feeling when we go to pick up the phone, and then we want to go back and get a cup of coffee. We want to go have a cigarette break, right? We want to go do other things that our body's telling us may be more important that we need to do right at that time. Well, we didn't need to do it 3 minutes ago when we sat down, but when we go to dial, we get that funny feeling. When you get that, move with speed. Don't think about it. Take a deep breath, pick up the phone and dial. And then once you've dialed and you hear it ringing, you've already made the call, and you just got to move forward. Okay. So you can't be scared of the phone. And I say this, I was taught this when I first started selling automobiles, was, hey, nobody is going to reach through the phone and punch you in the mouth. Okay. So don't worry about anything. Just worry about doing your job effectively and mastering the telephone. Okay. Myth number 5, the phone doesn't work for me. Hey, look, the phone works for everybody. It's the person picking up the phone and working the phone. The telephone, uh, that doesn't work unless you take action and do something on the phone, right? So it's the person on the phone that works the phone. Every time you want to call and order a pizza, okay, the phone works. Okay, when you want to call and order Uber Eats or DoorDash, okay, the phone works. Okay, So saying the phone doesn't work, complete myth, right? I call baloney on that one. Number six, uh, I can't sell my product over the phone. People say it's impossible that they can't sell a $240,000 package, or because it's a very complex sale that they can't do that over the phone, or it's $1 million product. Um, hey, the reality is we've called very, very wealthy people to get them to Grant and his team is called very, very wealthy people. I mean, we're talking other billionaires, okay, other multi millionaires to get them to do business. And guess where it's done? It's done over the phone. Okay. So, complete myth. How about leaving a message doesn't work? People think, oh, if I leave a message, then they're not going to call back anyway, right? Uh, so should I call, and if they don't answer, I'm just going to hang up, right? So, oh my gosh, again, we got to talk about leaving messages, right? I'm telling you, always leave a message. If in today's world, with the amount of robocalls everybody gets, and with the amount of just BS phone calls that we all get, okay, if it's not those things, never leave messages, right? So when the phone rings and it's a number we don't recognize on our caller ID on the screen of our cell phone, okay, those calls don't call back. And so if you're a salesperson listening to this right now, you need to understand that. You need to drill that into your brain that people, when they see numbers they don't recognize and there's no phone, there's no message being left from that phone number, that call is not getting called back. It's a very rare occasion that somebody will ever call back and say, hey, I missed a call from this number. All right. They just don't. Okay. Important phone calls, uh, always if you can't get a hold of the caller, there's always a message left. Okay. You want them to know you're calling. You want them to know you're thinking of them, right? They want to know you're thinking of them. So why would you not leave a message? Okay. Hey, something like when in automotive sales, okay, the consumers, right? And it's not just automotive sales, but uh, real estate, large, your stoves and spas and home improvements and insurance and all of this, right? Customers are so afraid of making the wrong decision. Okay. And a lot of times that fear can be paralyzing to them, right? They've made bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. They thought they were getting products and services that were going to solve their problems, only to find out it didn't even come close, right? And so they don't want to make another bad decision. And so if you don't look, if you don't think your customer isn't thinking about you after they came into your showroom, your store, or your office, and you don't think that they're not thinking of the product or service and the great job you did demonstrating that product and service and all the value you built into it, you're absolutely wrong. Okay, so number one, 48% of salespeople never make one follow-up phone call. All right, and I think gosh, I can't remember. There was another just massive number, something like 70% of the people who do make the phone call never make more than 3 attempts. When in reality, it's going to take 8 to 12 attempts to close the deal, right? And that is a true number, anywhere between 8 and 12 attempts. If you were able to get a hold of them earlier, and you were able to close that deal before 8 or 12 attempts, that's just how the odds worked out. And that is an indicator right there that those people you're actually calling back, that they actually are thinking of you, thinking of your store, thinking of the product or service. And so, but a lot of people, because of the bad decisions that they've made in the past, they won't even pick up the phone to call you to see if to ask any further questions, because they're so afraid, right? They're so afraid of making another bad decision. So as a salesperson, you call and you don't leave a message, you're just wasting your time. You're picking up the phone, you're wasting your time. Leave a message on every single cold call, or every single phone call. And speaking of cold calls, number eight myth is call Cold calling is a waste of time. Another wrong myth. Okay. Uh, Grant built two businesses on cold calls alone, two multi-million dollar businesses where they do in excess of hundreds of millions of dollars on cold calls alone. Okay. So a cold calling is not a waste of time. It's very effective. Again, you could talk to more people than you could just making personal visits. Get that out of your head if you think cold calling is a waste of time. They are tough. They are a hard call to make, but the cold call can be great. And once you get used to it, it can open a ton of doors of possibilities and keep you enabled to keep setting more appointments to increase the traffic into your store, your showroom, or your office. Okay. Here's another myth. This is the ninth myth. Okay. The best salespeople I know don't use the phone. Okay. Then you don't know the best salespeople, plain and simple. Okay. The top people in their field, the top salespeople, the top percent of any industry use the phone. Okay. Well, you say, well, what about if they're not in sales? Hey, look, if there's a product or a service being sold, there's a salesperson involved. Okay. And so, no matter what it is, whenever there's exchange of a good or a service, there's a salesperson behind it. Um, so the best salespeople absolutely use the phone. And the 10th myth is if I give too much information, this is the 10th misunderstanding of the telephone, the 10th myth. Okay. If I give too much information on the phone, they're going to buy from my competition. And if you're giving information and you're providing a good value, okay, you're building trust with the caller. All right. And so for you to think if you give too much information on the phone, you're pulling back away from communication. You're pulling back away from being being the best or providing the best service that you can for that customer. Okay. But we're going to go over more on information and the information provided on phone calls and the correct information, what's enough information. And we're going to go over all that on February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Go to thehardknockstate.com and get your ticket for the complete or for the phone mastery workshop, my half day virtual live workshop. This is going to be off the chart. Okay. Not only is it information, Grant's phone mastery information from his 10x sales professional course, but you're going to get scripts on the incoming call. You're going to get scripts on follow-up phone calls. You're going to learn to set more appointments and have the customer lock in their own appointment. You're going to become so deadly on the phone after this half day workshop. You're going to close more deals, set more appointments than what you've been doing in the past. We want to ensure 2023, when quarter two comes around, your company sees a revenue spike. More importantly than your company seeing a revenue spike is you individually as a sales professional see an income spike moving forward into quarter two, right? And why do I say quarter two? Well, you're going to start seeing it now after you go through the phone mastery workshop. You're going to start seeing results of it on Monday when you get back to the office. But I say in quarter two because with this phone mastery workshop, this virtual live event, not only are you going to get the follow along and study at home digital download sales professional workbook, course workbook, but I'm going to give you 30 days. Okay. That's 4 individual weekly group coaching sessions. That's my Rocket Revenue sales group coaching session. Okay. Where we go over a different topic each week. And we go over Grant's, one of Grant's 9 10x sales professional courses. And with each week, in addition, you also get the follow along and study at home course workbook. Okay. In addition to that, plus, and I'm so lucky these just came in. The shipment just came in. I have not even put these on my website yet. Okay. But you're going to get, and I call these what I'm going to be offering on my website is a 2-pack of my classy contract closing pens, and these pens are solid. I looked at hundreds of different pens in order to find the right one. This has a nice weight to it. It's got a fine tip ballpoint pen, and it's got a plunger. So you don't have to twist it, right? You don't have to take the cap off. You just click on it. And the other tip is a stylus. So if you're closing over, you can use this pen two ways. If you use paper or if you use a tablet. Okay. And I know a lot of organizations are going to the tablet these days and touch screens these days. Well, this right here is perfect. You ever see a customer try to sign their name on a screen using a mouse? Okay, what a complete disaster. Okay, this way they don't have to do that. If you got a touch screen, they can sign their name professionally, right? And they're metal. They're not the cheap plastic pens, right? And they got a little laser engraving here of the company and the phone number and the website, right, of the Hard Knock State. But they're gunmetal gray, a nice gunmetal gray, so they look very elegant. And so you get a 2-pack in addition to the 30-day group coaching session plus the half-day workshop for phone mastery, all for $19.95. So for under $20, you're getting the best value out there right now. And if you are watching this live stream, on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, okay, the link I've dropped in the website chat, and just click on that link. If you're watching this on Instagram, you have a little bit of different view, and I'm sorry, and you have a little bit different sound quality than those on the Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube streaming. But you go to thehardknockstate.com. It's written right up here on the whiteboard, thehardknockstate.com. And what you want to do is scroll down, past my appointments into my virtual live webinars. There's one event being offered right now, and that's the Phone Mastery on February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And the majority of people should be off and should be able to take advantage of that. I'm telling you, just the information from the Grants Phone Mastery 10x Sales Professional course. I could do a live seminar in person and not give away the free coaching and not give away my closing pens for $1,995. But I'm giving all that away. So as you see on the board there, for $19.95, you're getting the Phone Mastery half-day workshop. You're getting 30 days of weekly group coaching, my Revenue Rocket weekly group coaching with digital downloadable follow along and study at home workbooks, and then my 2 closing pens. And I'll put these kind of up there. As you can see, they're a nice quality pen, right? Nice metal, and they got a little nice indentation in there. They hold really nice. You see that there? Nice gunmetal gray with the laser engraving on the side, the stylus on the top, and the click, so it's not a twist. Boy, these are look at the tip on that. These are fine tipped ballpoint pens. They write so smooth, and you can have 2 of these plus the 4 weeks of weekly group sales coaching, my Revenue Rocket group coaching, and then the half-day workshop, all for $19.95. And so we went over the myths on the phone. We went over the types of calls. We've gone over misconceptions and the rules of the phone. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to talk a little bit about controlling the call. Okay, so what do you do how do you control a phone call, right? What do you do when you get that caller on the line? Okay, the incoming call. Okay, this is where the opportunity is calling your company. They're making an inquiry now, regardless of what you believe in or what you've been told. This is a very, very real buyer. Okay, in fact, this prospect is a better qualified buyer than most of the people just walking in the door. Okay, they're closer to making a decision, and we know this from someone who is actively seeking information on your product or service, right? So they're closer to making a decision than most other people. Over 50% of the time, people who are calling in on a product or coming in on a product are on the wrong product. Even the person who calls and says, I want this, and I want it equipped at such and such and such, they're on the wrong product. Okay. 50% of the time. Okay. That is so important to understand. Okay. That's the reason why fact finding, okay, and always never stops, right? We're fact finding, even though that is the second step in the perfect sales process. Fact finding never stops. Okay. It starts the minute we engage. Okay. Another important point is these callers typically are not interested in building rapport. Okay. The caller is trying to determine whether it's even worth coming to seeing you. They're calling to see if you have the right product or service that they're looking for. They're calling to see if you're going to treat them well. Okay, they're calling to see if what your price is, what your rate is. Okay, they're calling to see if you they're calling for information. Okay. And we need to understand that. Okay. They've done enough research that's driven them to a point where now it's time to pick up the telephone and get more information. Okay. The buyer's goals, most scripts for the phone, okay, are not organized, and they do not have the client or the caller in mind. Okay. Most people given these call scripts are given call scripts based off of what the management or the company's executives want, okay, or how they want that call handled. This is the single biggest reason why scripts fail. So we organize scripts and calls, okay, based off of what our client wants. So let's start with our client's goals, okay. Figure what they are, okay. Figure out what they are. Create a script that satisfies them first and you second. Okay. Satisfies you as the company second, but them first. Okay. So what does a person want when they call you? If you were just paying attention, we know that when somebody calls your company, they saw something on the internet, they saw some information about, let's say, some financial opportunity. Let's say it's a car dealership, a furniture store, a phone store. Okay. Whether it's life insurance, a home mortgage, houses, you name it. The only thing they're calling in for is information. So if you know that 100% of your clients are calling for information, say, hey, thank you for calling. What can I get you information on? Okay. This right here is so important. Okay. Harvard did a study on people. Okay. And people form an opinion of other people within 3 to 5 seconds. Okay, so if you're a salesperson and let's say you're standing in your showroom floor, the door opens, somebody comes in to look at mattresses, okay, and you see them, you engage with them, you make eye contact with them. The minute they make eye contact with you and see you, you've got 3 to 5 seconds to formulate a positive opinion in the buyer's mind. And it's no different when you're on the phone. The tone of your voice and the words that you say are powerful. The words that we say are powerful. Okay, so if the tone of our voice is wrong, if we're slouched over, if we're frowning, if we're not happy, our attitude isn't right, the customer is going to sense that, and they're going to know you're not a happy person. Okay, so right there, that's a ding against you. All right. And the second thing they want is they want to, if you answer with a horrible greeting, okay, that right there is your second mark. It's your second strike against you. Okay. And 3 strikes, you're out, right? No one thing will ever blow a deal. Remember that. No one thing will ever blow a deal. But if multiple bad things done over and over again will blow the deal. And so, remember, they want information. So what can I get you information on? Hey, thank you for calling. What can I get you information on? And that's how you're going to want to satisfy their wants and needs. Okay. They're trying to accomplish getting more information. The second thing people are trying to do is create a distance between you and them. Okay. The third, they want no obligation. Because they've created the distance, they want no obligation. They make phone calls to collect the data, get the information, get off the phone, and call the next place of business. Okay. They have a game plan. Think of what you when you go out and you buy. If you're a person who calls businesses on the phone, we all do, right? What is your game plan? Typically, you write down three or four, five, maybe 10 different organizations of somebody who might have that product or service, right? Your game plan is no different than the caller's game plan. Okay, the your game plan is to get the information and get off the phone and call the different place of different organization, and then try to do put it all in a spreadsheet. See who's got the best this and that and everything, right? Uh, the buyer, the caller on the phone is no different, right? So they want no obligation. Number four, they want to save time. Okay, you want to save time, right? They want to save time. They want to get on the phone. They want to get off the phone. Um, they want to see if you have it and what it's going to cost them. Okay. Number five is they want to determine if you even have what they want, if you even have that product or service that's going to solve their needs. Okay. Rule number six, they could be calling for a cost if they can afford it, to see if they can afford it, right? See if it's even doable, right? Figure out what it's going to cost them. Rule number seven, determine whether it's even worth their time going in to see you. Okay, is there anybody there? Are you even open, right? If you answer no with a yeah, or how can I help you? You're probably closed. Remember, we want to answer the phone. Thank you for calling ABC Motors. What information can I get you today? What information may I provide you with? Right? What information can I get for you? Right? And so, being different, right? They want to see if you're even there. If there's any, the lights are on, right? Number eight, they want to see if you're willing to help them. They want to see if you're willing and able to help them. Okay. So I'll tell you what, if I'm mistreated at a place of business, I stop shopping there. If it, no one ever blows a deal, but if I keep calling, or if I keep trying to reach out to them, and it's over repetitive, right? Over and over, three strikes, you're out. I move on and I don't go back typically. Number Number nine, determine uh, they want to determine whether they even want your product or service, right? I think we just talked about that. Now, what are your goals when you're making these calls? So let's talk about what it is that you want to accomplish. It's simple. The main target in a phone call is to get the client to do business with you. It's to sell your product or service. That is the main point of the call, right? But we need to go through a couple other steps and sell some other areas before we can make the actual finalized sale and exchange money for our product or service, right? First, we need to sell an appointment. Okay, so the very first thing you want to do is separate yourself from everyone else. Uh, they may call. We're going to do this with an attitude, with attention, with an approach, the right attitude. You're going to do it with the right attention, not intention, but attention, and with the right approach. And you got to know what you're going to accomplish. Okay. You want to offer using other information to gain access to their information. Okay. You want to use the offering of information to gain access to their information, gain access to their name, right? People just aren't going to give their name out if you don't earn the right. And if you don't earn the right you have to earn the right to get their name, their phone number, their email address. So we need to separate ourselves, right? We need to make sure our attitude is right. Our attention is right, right? We need to make sure we're paying attention, and we need to make sure our approach is right. Okay. We need to make sure that once we do get through that, that we gain access to their information, name, cell phone, email. You have to have this information, right, in order to move forward. The best way, you can always say, hey, I've seen this happen many times. They can't somebody calling just doesn't know exactly what they're doing on the phone. They don't know how to control the call. And so they say, hey, yes, I'm here all day long. My name is, come see me. I look forward to seeing you. I hope you can make it today. Okay. And so that's not what we're talking about here. We need to be a professional. Need to take these phone calls seriously. We need to properly go through a process, okay, and follow the process, and we need to collect their information. Okay, once you've done the first things, okay, then you want to sell the appointment. Okay, you want to get in front of this buyer. Okay, you want to remember the purpose of the call. You want to have a couple different purposes of the call, but your real purpose is what you're trying to sell them, right? And so we want to get in front of them in order to do that, in order to do a proposal, demonstration, of our product or service, and put a proposal in front of the customer. So when someone when someone agrees to take the time to see something, your closing ratio can increase by 3 to 4 times. I'll say that again. When someone agrees to take the time to come see something, when they agree to make an appointment, your closing ratio goes up 3 to 4 times. Okay. Regardless of whether you get an appointment or not, uh, you want to accomplish selling your name, your phone number, and your location. By the way, I have your cell phone number here. I'm going to text you my contact information, and then put their number in your phone and text it to them. Okay. But then you want to let them know, hey, I'm going to text you my information. Should you have any questions, you get lost coming into the store, you need additional driving directions. And then number 4, we need to reconfirm that appointment. The buyer just agreed to an appointment. So we want to just recap on the phone conversation. Okay. We're confirming that appointment. And this is what Grant calls is the appointment lock. We're locking in the appointment. We're actually having the customer confirm their own appointment. And we're doing this by asking them, hey, is there any other reason? Is there any reason? Do you foresee any reason whatsoever that you're not going to be able to make it tomorrow at 4:45 when you said you're going to be able to make it? Do you see any other reason that you're not going to be able to make it? And then number 5, summarize in this call what you're going to do for them. Okay, so when you get here this evening, okay, I'm going to show this product to you. I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to show you some other things maybe you haven't even considered. Okay, I'm going to show you some other maybe competitors' products that will also, based off of what you've told me, might also be a good solution for your needs. Okay, so recap on that and summarize. Highlight everything that to the buyer, the caller, of what's going to take place. Line it out. Okay, so there's no mystery. Number 6, know what to look for. So you want to let them know what to look for when they come in. Hey, and you want to also find out, you also want to know what to look for to see them coming in, right? So, hey, Bob, hey, at 4:45 tonight, I'm going to be out in front of the store. I'm going to be out in front of the office, and I'll be in the blue suit with the yellow tie. And so, what will you be driving? Oh, a black Mazda. Okay, great. And so you want to get that established, right? And now we've talked a little bit about that. We're going to talk about the responsibilities. Okay, your job on this call is to make sure of a few things. Okay, number 1, your positive attitude. We want to have a positive, can do, will do attitude. Okay, an attitude of no problem, sir, no problem, ma'am, I'll be happy to do that for you. uh, always have a positive attitude. Number 2 is we want to be professional and courteous. Number 3 is we want to qualify the buyer. Okay. Number 4, and what do I mean by qualify the buyer? As the specifications, right? To make sure that as a way to actually answer their first questions that they hit you with. Okay. to take interest in them and to determine what their needs actually are. So that's what we mean by qualifying the buyer at this point in time. We're not qualifying them financially. Okay. We're not going through all that. We're not qualifying them to see if they're serious about buying the product or the service. Okay. Those are the wrong types of qualifying. The wrong way to qualify the customer. We're just as we're qualifying the buyer as to the specifications as a way to answer their questions, take interest in them, and determine what their needs are. Okay. Number four, get the buyer's name, right? Get a number, get an email, but don't get their name and number until you've done don't get that information until you've done steps 1 and 2 and 3. Okay. Number five, we want to sell our name and our phone number and our location. Okay. Number six is we want to take notes, have a legal pad, a good size or blank sheets of copy paper, but make sure that it's a big enough for you to take a lot of notes. Okay. And if use a script, use a phone guide, use a phone script, use a phone card, a control card, a calling card. Okay. Uh, use that, take your notes on that. And then when you get done, put that information into your CRM if you use a CRM, or hold on to it, right? If you work for somebody else, if you're a sales professional or a sales associate and you work for somebody else, when you get done making that call with your notes on it, take that phone script, your guide, your control card, your calling card, take that and turn it into your manager and have them call and confirm the appointment. Or if you couldn't make the appointment, have them call and set the appointment for you. Okay. Number 8 is you need to be prepared. You don't want to be off doing 54 other things while you're on a phone call. Okay. Number 9, follow up the phone call, right? Once we call somebody, we'll want to follow that up with another line of communication. Follow it up with a text message, follow it up with an email, follow it up with a US mail. Okay. Follow it up with a direct message from the social media you guys are connected on. Follow up the phone call. And number 10, use information as a way to separate yourself in the marketplace. Use information that will separate you from the guy down the street. Use information that will separate you from all of your competition. Remember, your competition and most of the marketplace, generally, they're very, very weak on the phone. And you just learning this information tonight, if you just learned this information tonight, you've been taking notes, tomorrow you'll be able to set more appointments and close more deals. Okay. The types of incoming calls. So we've talked about what they want. We've talked about what you want. Okay. And we've talked about what you have to do in order to accomplish this call. Okay. And how do you need to operate? Now let's talk about the types of calls you're going to get. There's a finite number of calls that you'll ever get. And here they are. Okay. Number 1 is the price call. Okay. How much is it? I want to know how much it is. Okay. Number 2 is the advertisement call, a call generated from TV, from radio, from one of your advertising company's advertising sources. It could be direct mail. It could be ads on a website. Okay. That's the advertising call. Number 3 is the availability call. They want to know if you have a specific product, the specific unit, if you have a specific model number, right, in stock, a specific necklace, right, 18 inches in gold in this price range, right? I saw it in your magazine. Right. They want, number 4 is they have general calls about the product. They want to know what the warranty is on it. What kind of protection does it come with? What it will do in this type of situation. Okay. And those are just typically the general information questions about the product or service. Number 5 is the appraisal call. This right here, you get this call. So many salespeople below this, and they just discount this, is not a real sales call. This call right here is one of the hottest calls out there. And this is the appraisal call. Why do I say this? Is because the buyer has moved through their buying process, and now they're wondering how they can make that product or service affordable. Okay. So they want to know if there's any value left in what they're currently using. And if they can exchange it in the form of a down payment. Okay. And so it may take time to close these deals if you're, like, say, working with somebody who's been through, like, it could be an appraisal call, as far as somebody who maybe you're selling automobiles and they were in a accident and they're trying to get an evaluation and negotiate with their insurance company on what that's worth. Hey, look, if many people, okay, if that insurance company ends up totaling that car, you have a hot lead ready to buy now. Okay, the insurance company totaled the car. They don't give that car back to the person who totaled it, who was in the accident, right? They take that car and they take it to an auto auction, or they take it to a crusher, right? And they smash it, right? So uh let's say they're waiting on some kind of settlement. They're waiting to figure out if they can make this all possible. So you just, by getting good on the phone, mastering how to follow up with these clients during this appraisal call, you'll close way more deals. Number six is the down payment call. Hey, if I buy the kitchen set or the living room set, do I actually need to put money down? It's basically, do I need to put money down, or how much can I finance, or can I even get financing, right? Number seven is you have the interest rate calls. This is a big one. And again, this is an area, if you're selling a high dollar ticket item, that a lot of people get wrong on handling the interest rate calls. And we're going to go over that on more in depth on February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time during my phone mastery half day virtual live workshop. Okay, this is Grant's phone mastery material from his 10x sales professional course. This is the material, okay, that Grant and his team uses, and that Grant's developed over his 40 years in sales. Okay, it's ethical, it's transparent, and it's effective. That's the main thing there for we all want to hear. Is we want to know whether what we're going to use and what we're going to learn, if it's effective. This Grant's got this knack of keeping everything super simplified. Okay, so anybody of all skill level can learn the these strategies, and everybody can increase and level up their game, level up their selling game, their closing game, level up their phone skills, right? And if you're really good in person, but you're not so good over the phone, getting good on the phone and mastering the phone, you'll become deadly. I guarantee you, if you're really good on the in person, face to face, and you get extremely good and you master the phone, you'll be even better in person and face to face. Let's say you're really good in person, face to face with walking customers right now, but you don't, and you're not a top producer. Maybe it's because you need to get good on. It probably is that you need to get good on the phone and learn this skill. All right. Um, so we talked about the interest rate call. What about the credit problem call? Okay, for all of you doing installment payments, you're going to hear this call a lot. Okay, down payment calls, interest rate calls, and credit problem calls. Okay, number 9 is product information calls. Specific information about that product. Hey, send me some information. Can you email it over to me? Okay, I'm calling for my daughter, or on behalf of my brother, my husband, my uncle, my boss. Okay, these can be tough calls, but we'll show you how to handle them correctly during the Phone Mastery Half Day Workshop on February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I'm going to drop the link in the chat again on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Instagram people, thank you for watching and tuning in. I know the camera angle is probably going to be a little different on Instagram. The sound quality might be slightly different, but if you can look up on the whiteboard and you see thehardknockstate.com, okay, that just click on thehardknockstate.com, type that into Google, and then once you get to my website, scroll down Okay. About halfway down the first page of my website there, go through the appointments. Right underneath the appointments, you'll see the logo, the photo for that live webinar. Okay. It says Phone Mastery Boot Camp on that logo. Just click on that. Go ahead and get signed up. Now, once you get signed up for that, not only will you get a link for or your ticket, because we will do this workshop over Zoom. It won't be streaming out to these services, but you'll also get the link to access your 4 weekly sales group coaching sessions, my Revenue Rocket group coaching session. And then you'll also will want to get a hold of you. We'll email you to ask you some information on where to mail out your 2-pack of classy contract closing pens. This is a new arrival, hasn't even hit my website yet, but I'm going to sell a 2-pack of these for $19.95. And so these are made out of metal. They're a nice metal, elegant looking gunmetal gray with silver. They have the plunger, fine tip ballpoint pen. It writes so smooth. And then the other end is the stylist if you're closing over an iPad. So it works both ways. If you're closing on a touch screen or if you close on paper, your customer can sign with a nice pen either way. So $19.95 for the 2-pack. That's the value of these pens. The 30-day, the month of weekly group coaching, that's a value of $395. $395 you're not paying for. We go over each week, we go over grants, 10x sales professional courses in a different topic each week. In addition to that, you're going to get the 10x sales professional each week. You're going to get a 10x sales professional digital downloadable follow along and study at home workbook. And then, of course, all the material that we're going to be covering, such as what we're covering tonight in the phone sales mastery workshop. You're going to learn scripts. You're going to learn how to handle and control the inbound phone call. You're going to learn how to handle and control the outbound phone call for following up with unsold customers, for internet leads, website chats, advertisement calls, as we had just said, right? Your company it sends advertisements out there to generate leads coming in. You're going to learn how to handle that. You're going to learn how to make and master the phone call for sold customers, okay? For referrals, repeat business. You're going to learn how to master the call, okay, for service customers, orphan customers. Okay, what an orphan customer is that somebody who bought a product or service for the company that you work for. That salesperson is no longer with your company or service to take care of that client, to service their needs moving forward into the future. And so you're going to learn how to handle that. You're going to learn so much information that when you get back into the office on Sunday or Monday and you start picking up that phone and making those phone calls, you're going to have the confidence because you're going to know what to say. And that's the reason why typically there's 2 types of salespeople who are not skilled on the phone. That they do when they are on the phone, they do 2 different things. Number one, they play the odds and they try to take as many inbound phone calls as possible to play the odds that they're going to the right person's going to call in just to automatically set an appointment to come in and take a look at the product or service. The second type of salesperson shies away from the phones completely. Okay, they don't when the phone rings, they wait for other people to pick it up first, right? When it comes to follow up, they look for other avenues or other ways to follow up with a customer through a text message, through an email, or if they aren't good on the phone, I guarantee you they're not good on shooting videos of themselves and sending that out through a text message as well. So we're going to go over all this information on February 11th at 10 p.m. Pacific time. Okay, it's the complete sales mastery workshop. Okay, and again, for $19.95, it just the information grants phone mastery information here. Just that alone, I could do a live in-person seminar, and I could sell each ticket without the 30 days of group coaching, without uh, the closing pens, my Class E contract closing pens, without the 2-pack of that. I could sell a ticket for $1,995. But you're getting all this right now for $19.95. And so if you do this now and do it early, because this is going to be a slightly different interactive workshop or boot camp that you've been to in the past. We don't have seats or access for thousands of people to join this. Okay. We've got access for 200 people thereabout. I think 200 is the mark, 250 maybe, maybe 250 at max. Okay. So you're going to get, again, you're going to get all of Grant's phone mastery information. You're going to learn what to say in all types of phone call situations. Okay. You're going to get 30 days of my Revenue Rocket weekly group coaching with digital download workbooks. And you're going to get a 2-pack of my Classy contract closing pens. And these pens are nice. Look at these. These pens are made out of metal. They're gunmetal gray with silver accents. Okay. Really classy. Look at the place where you clip it into your shirt pocket or your jacket pocket. Very nice. They're engraved on the side with the name of my company and the website and the contract. But they are a plunger style pen with a fine tip ballpoint pen. If you can see that fine tip ballpoint pen. Okay. They write so smooth. And these fine tip pens, if you have to do credit applications, hard credit applications on a piece of paper, they'll be able to fill in the smaller boxes perfectly. Now, if your organization sells on a touchscreen or an iPad, the top where you hit the plunger, okay, that is a stylist, right? And I know a lot that's a really popular on pens these days, but this will allow you to close, give your customer a nice, and these things aren't light. These aren't cheap pens. Okay. This is got a good weight to it. And that's important. That's an indication of a quality pen is the weight of the pen. And so these got a nice weight to it. So your buyer, your customer, they can sign either on paper or they can sign either by stylist on the touch screen. And so the 2-pack is $19.95. The 30-day group coaching for individual sessions, that dollar amount is $395. Okay. I'm giving it to you. Really, I'm giving it to you for free. You'd pay alone $20 for these 2 pens. Okay. And so the whole this whole ordeal, this phone mastery workshop, this is $19.95. Again, the information when I am going to be doing this in the near future, and I'm going to be doing this live. Okay. I'm going to sell tickets just to this without the group coaching and without anything extras, without any extra bonus items for $1,995. But you can get it all right now for $19.95. I've dropped the link in the website chat if you're on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn. And you get this chat through the streaming service. If not, and you're on Instagram, or if one of these streaming service social media platforms I'm plugged into, if you don't see the link come through on the chat, you just look up here at the whiteboard. It's thehardknockstate.com. Okay, just Google Hard Knock State, and then click on the website. Scroll halfway down, go through right below my appointment section, and then click on Phone Sales Mastery Boot Camp. Okay. You'll see it. It's got some green lettering or green accents there. We take all major credit cards, and then within 24 hours, we'll email you a link to your ticket. To the boot camp. We'll email you your link, your tickets to get in the 4 individual weekly group coaching session. And then we'll ask, because we don't store that the credit card processing company stores your credit card information. So we don't hold on to your address, I don't believe. So we'll probably have to contact you to find out where you would like your 2-pack of classy contract closing pens mailed out to you. Okay. When you're on the phone and you're selling on the phone, again, that's thehardknocksdate.com, by the way. But when you're selling on the phone, hey, here's some things you really want to avoid. Okay. Number one, never handle the phone call when you're preoccupied. This was one of Grant's rules, right? If you've got a 3-year-old in your hands, if you've got an infant in your hands, a small child, a dog, a pet, okay, or the worst thing anybody wants to hear when they're on the phone is a crying baby. Okay. It's actually magnified into the receiver. Not to mention, you cannot give full attention to that phone call. So never handle a call when you're preoccupied. Never tell the buyer that you don't have what they want. Okay. I don't care if you don't have it, right? Don't tell them that you don't have it. Okay. You're not helping them in that way. You may have a product or service similar or almost identical to the one they're calling in on, that would maybe even do more than the product or serve more for them as the consumer than the product or the service that they're calling in on. So don't tell them you don't have it, because you're not helping anybody out that way. All right. I don't have it and we can't help you. Never say anything like that to anybody calling into your store. Okay. I know salespeople will tell them that don't want time, right? They don't want to, they think that they're going to set an appointment to bring that customer in, and we're not going to have exactly what they're looking for. Well, shoot, you could have something better than what they're looking for, right? But we're going to learn how to handle these, and we're going to learn how to give this right information out, the correct information out, and how we're still going to be able to set an appointment and have the customer lock that appointment in. But first thing, we never want to tell them. Okay. Never want to tell them we can't help them. Number 3, we never handle the phone call without a script, without your format, right? Your phone guide, your calling card, your control card. We never want to handle a phone call. I don't care how good you think you are on the phone. I don't care if you've been making phone calls for 30 years and you use the same script that you've used making 200, 300 phone calls a day for 30 years. Okay. Always handle every phone call with a script. Okay. Number 4, never, ever, ever give a price on one product. So when we're giving the information to the customer, we don't want to just give one price on one product. We want to give multiple prices on multiple products and services. Remember the magic of multiple options. Okay. Just remember magic of multiple options. And that's the same with magic of multiple pricing. Okay. We never say we can't, never say we won't, never say no, right? Unless you absolutely have to, but never say you don't know, or you can't tell them or give them any kind of certain information. Number 6, never say it's not available. Okay. Again, number 7, never say we can't do that. Number 8, so important, never argue with the buyer. Okay. When you disagree with the buyer, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're blowing all chances and opportunities. Nobody cares how smart you are. I'm just going to say that. And that may be a little harsh. That may be a little hard to understand, but I got to be honest with you. I don't care how much product information you know. Okay. Never get into an argument with a buyer trying to stress to that caller how much information, how smart you are. Okay. You got to keep the right attitude when you make these phone calls. And if you get into a disagreement over product knowledge or stats or specifications or something little stupid and minute like that, shame on you. Okay. Always agree with the buyer. Even if you know that buyer is wrong, stay in agreement with the buyer and never argue with the caller. Number 9, never avoid asking for their name, their phone number. Remember their cell phone number or their email address. Never avoid asking for that. Weak salespeople will do this all the time, or they'll get caught up. They're preoccupied on the phone. They'll forget to ask for people's names and numbers. I'm telling you, be a professional. always ask for their name and phone number. We're going to show you the right way and the most effective way to get their name, phone number, and email address so you can follow up with them. Regardless of whether you do or you do not set an appointment. Okay, number 10, never keep the customer on one product. This is a major mistake. They called in on a Land Rover. Okay. Hey, it would be a good idea if not only you had a Land Rover HSE, right? LHR, HSE in stock, right? And you've had it's really nice. You got the, I don't care how clean, I don't care what a pin or what kind of, if it's a diamond, right? It's probably the nicest Land Rover, in your entire state. I don't care. Offer up other similar options. Okay. Hey, while I'm checking on that information about that Land Rover, can I also get you information on the Infiniti QX that we have in stock, or the Mercedes GL? Can I do that for you as well? Okay. So never keep the caller on one product. Okay. Never offer an appointment without offering choices first. And we just talked about those kind of choices. Okay. But the choices could also be the choice of time. We don't want to pin a customer in and paint the customer into a corner and not offer them choices on time. Number 12, never get off the phone without selling your name, whether it's social networking, texting, video. Hey, this is who I am and this is what I do. This is who I work for. This is the product I sell. Always never hang up the phone call. There's a right place and time when we go about selling our own information, when we go about selling our name, our phone number, our location. There's a place and time in the call for that. We're going to handle that on February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Number 13, never end the call without some type of follow-up. You can use a video, shoot a video, text, or email a video out to them after you made that phone call. You can send an email out to them, or even just a simple text message. Okay, never blame the customer for anything. This is like arguing with the buyer. Okay, never blame the customer for anything. Do not make them wrong for calling you. Okay. I don't care if it's pertaining to the product or the service. I don't care if it's pertaining to an appointment time. I don't care if it's pertaining to anything. Never blame the caller for anything. All right. And keep in mind, I want to see you guys. I want to be able to mail. Look, you're not going to have to pay for shipping. Okay. On these pens. Okay. $19.95 for these pens. That's all going to be included in the total price of $19.95 for my for my Phone Mastery boot camp, my Phone Mastery virtual live workshop on February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Okay. And again, these are nice. These are classy. They're metal. Okay. They're gunmetal gray, silver accents. Okay. You've got a nice weight to them. And so you get two of these pens. These pens alone, again, they haven't hit my website, but they're $19.95 for a 2-pack. I'm not trying to sell you pens right now. I'm trying to sell you a half-day phone mastery workshop, a boot camp. Okay. You're going to get these two contract closing pens. You're going to get these free. But I'm telling you, the value of these pens are $19.95. You're going to get them free. Okay. You're also going to get a month, 4 individual weekly group coaching sessions. My Revenue Rocket weekly group coaching. We cover during these group coaching sessions, we cover one of 9 of Grant Cardone's 10X Sales Professional courses. And you get a digital downloadable follow along and study at home workbook also with each course. And then you get that right there, that week, that whole month, those 4 sessions, that is $395. That's a $395 value. You can go to thehardknockstate.com and you can look. You can buy it separately without the workshop for $395. However, you can buy the workshop for $19.95. You can get that 5 hours of phone mastery material. You're going to learn how to set more appointments than you've ever set before. You're going to learn how to get the customer to lock in and confirm their own appointment, and you're going to increase your show rate, which will in turn allow you to increase your close rate. Okay, first you got to sell the appointment before you can sell your product or service. So, but those are that is selling the appointment. You do have to sell, right? And so we're going to go into more about all this information, setting the appointment, what to say, how to say it, how to do your fact finding, what a bid claim, why we need to make a big claim when we're making a phone call. Okay. Why we need to offer multiple times for the consumer to come in, right? Why we lock an appointment down and confirm an appointment, why we have our manager follow up with a phone call, a confirmation, or follow up for more fact finding. Okay. You may be extremely good. You may be the best face-to-face salesperson in the world. Let's say you're selling automobiles and you sell 20 units a month, you sell 25 units a month, and you don't pick up the phone. Okay. Think about how many sales you're missing, and think about how many sales you'll be making after you get done with the half-day phone mastery workshop. Now, hey, look, I've been a sales professional for 20 years. Okay. I was so good on the phone using Grant's material, and it was all Grant's material. I got so good on the phone with handling incoming phone calls, handling outbound phone calls, calling back showroom traffic and closing over the phone. I got so good at it. I got promoted into sales management for at that time, and I think they still are, but it was for this manufacturer, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say the manufacturer, but it was the largest automotive dealership for this manufacturer in 5 of our Pacific Northwestern states. And so I was the guy calling back all the showroom traffic. Every proposal come in that didn't where the customer decided not to purchase, decided to go home and think about it. I was the guy calling each customer for 6.5 years. I believe it was 6.5 years, calling back and getting those customers back in and closing deals for the salesperson, for the customer, and for the dealership. And we're going to teach you to make it a win-win. So it's a win for you. As the salesperson, it's a win for the company. Okay. But most importantly, it's a win for the customer. Okay. And we're going to go over all this again, just the half-day workshop alone. When I do this event live and in person, it's going to be $1,995 per ticket. Okay. You're getting all this. You're getting this over a virtual Zoom group workshop. Okay. You're getting the phone mastery knowledge. You're getting all of Grant's knowledge and his material. Okay. You're going to get a digital download, follow along and study at home phone mastery workbook. Okay. You're going to get 1 month, 30 days of group revenue rocket group sales coaching. Okay. Where we cover one of 9 of Grant's 10X sales professional courses. In addition to that, you get the workbooks to those 2. And then plus you're going to get, this is a new arrival. And again, it hasn't even hit my website. You're going to get the 2-pack. You're going to get the 2-pack of classy contract closing pens. Okay. And again, these pens are really nice. I looked at hundreds and hundreds of pens before I decided this is the one I wanted to sell on my website. It has a fine tip ballpoint pen. Okay. I love gel pens, but I've been having issue with gel pens on smearing. And so you don't have to worry about that with the ballpoint pen. Okay. It's got a nice weight to it. It's made out of a nice metal. Okay. It's gunmetal gray with silver accents. It's got the plunger, so you don't have to worry about twisting it, or, the customer pulling it apart, right? Trying to twist it in the wrong direction and break your nice pen, right? It has a stylist on the other side. So if you close and you need signatures on a tablet or a touch screen, your customer, They can sign their contracts either on paper or on a touch screen. And so again, it's 1995. Again, I'm going to dropping the link in the chat again. 1995. We will email you within 24 hours with your ticket, which is your link to the Zoom half day workshop. And then we will also email you the link or the key to get in the classroom for our weekly group coaching, my Revenue Rocket weekly group sales coaching. And then also, we're going to contact you to get information on how you would like us to send you out your closing pens. All that is for $19.95. Okay, it's less than $20, and that is the best. This is the best deal going on in sales right now. And so you want the whole purpose of this is because you want to make 2023 the best year you've ever had in sales. And you can't be the best if you don't get good in all avenues, in all aspects, in all areas of sales, right? So sales and sales training isn't just one-on-one over the phone or one-on-one in person with walk-in traffic. Okay. It's knowing how to create your own traffic. That's the beautiful thing about the phone is if some say 2023 could be worse than 2008. And when the natural flow of traffic stops coming into your showroom, your store, your office, you're going to need to do something to combat that. And this information that you're going to learn is so effective and so powerful. Grant has been using it. This is 40 years of information from Grant. Okay. His sales staff uses this phone mastery information. Okay. They use this when they make phone calls, when they call all of Grant's clients back or answering phone calls when Grant's selling a package. They use this phone mastery material. It works. I know it works. I've used it myself. It's what I used to become a top producer at the automotive dealership I've worked at. It's what I used to get promoted into management. It's what I used to help train and coach sales associates. Okay. It works. It's effective. It's transparent and it's ethical. Okay. It's not manipulative. It's not, we're not pulling the wool over somebody's eyes. Okay. We're not tricking somebody. Okay. And you would never, hey, look, what you do in your sales processes, if you know how effective they are, if you can tell it's the right sales process when you can tell the customer exactly what's going on and why you're doing it. Okay. Some of these sales trainers, they practice NLP, neuro linguistic programming. Are you really going to tell your customer on the phone, hey, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to do neuro linguistic programming on you. Okay. I'm going to try to say things in certain ways and certain patterns to trick you to come in and try to look at the product or service when it may not be the right product or service. Of course not. No one would ever say that. Okay. Because they couldn't. Okay. But Grant's material, all of Grant's material, you could tell the customer exactly what's going on at any given day and time. Okay. And you could do it holding your head high and be proud of that you're a true professional salesman or sales lady. Okay. You're a true professional. You're a true sales professional. And again, hey, don't miss out on this opportunity. Don't let February 11th come and go. And you missed out on, look, let's talk about the value of this. Okay. In person, if you went to go partake, if you bought a ticket for my live in-person half-day phone mastery seminar, an in-person workshop seminar, be $1,995. Okay. My group coaching, my Revenue Rocket sales group coaching, that's $395. Okay. The Classy contract closing pens, that's $1,995. Okay. So literally you're getting $2,040 you're getting, excuse me, $2,409.95 worth of value for $19.95. $2,409.95 worth of value for $19.95. I don't know. Hopefully, being it's the weekend and being I'm maximizing all my cameras and my streaming services. Hopefully, my website is starting to go off the charts. If my website slows down, I've noticed this when multiple people are buying one product or one package or one of my services at a time. Sometimes that could slow the system down and it may make it bounce. Just keep trying it over and over again. If the site is like bouncing when you go to book it, if it says or buy, if it bounces back, just try it again. Okay. And just keep trying it. Eventually it will go through. You'll be able to put in any major credit card that you have. Okay. And we'll email you within 24 hours with the link to the group monthly or excuse me, weekly group coaching sessions. We'll email you with information on how to get these closing pens out to you, your contract closing pens, and we'll email you with information on your ticket. And we'll give you the link for your phone mastery half-day workshop ticket, and also the link for the key to get in the classroom for the 30 days of your weekly group coaching. Okay. So that's a 4 individual group coaching sessions. Look, hey, I really appreciate you guys hanging out on this live stream tonight. I know Instagram, your camera is a little further away than Facebook. Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I do apologize for that. Go to thehardknockstate.com. Okay. Scroll halfway down, right underneath my appointments is my webinars and my events. Click on the Phone Mastery Bootcamp. Okay. And then to go ahead and put in your credit card information. Thehardknockstate.com. As you can see, it's written on the whiteboard there. Look, I really appreciate it. As I said, that you guys took the time to do this. I will see you on the next live stream. And if you have any questions about processing your credit card, if you have any about the $20, you get emailed immediately back replies, but give us a call at 360-615-2070. That's the office phone number at the Hard Knock State. Okay. That's the sales department, 360-615-2070. You could hit us up on our website chat. Okay. So yeah, whether you're hitting the link on the streaming service, your social media chat during this live stream on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, or whether you're actually going to your web browser and typing in Hard Knock State. Okay. Regardless, if you have any questions, on the bottom, there's the website chat bubble. You'll probably see a pop-up thanking you for welcoming you to the website, asking if you need any information. Just go ahead and hit us up on the website chat, or you could scroll down past my free sales tip newsletter is my contact us now button, and you can hit us up by sending us an email. But I'm happy to help you guys out, answer any questions you have. Again, this is $2,409.95 worth of value. Just getting the information alone on Grant's Phone Mastery workshop, just getting that information alone that I'm delivering to you is worth $1,995. But that plus the pens plus the group coaching for $19.95. The value is $2,409.95. You're getting for under $20. And again, I really thank you for watching. If you've watched to the end, really, really appreciate it. I'll tell you what, if somebody has any questions, again, hit us up at 360-615-2070 or by our website chat or by email.